You have probably seen the thumbnails screaming that new Porsches are falling apart. Here's the inconvenient truth. Consumer Reports data says almost the exact opposite, and Porsche quietly ranks among the most reliable car brands you can buy right now. So if these things are so dependable, why do so many owners still end up feeling completely burned? Because reliable and affordable to own are two entirely different promises, and Porsche keeps one of them beautifully while brutally breaking the other. Today we're counting down what the actual data reveals about buying a new Porsche, from the genuinely reassuring to the seriously expensive, and by the end, you'll know exactly what you'd be signing up for. Let's get into it. Number 7. Consumer Reports actually loves new Porsches. Let's start by killing the myth, because the real numbers matter here. In Consumer Reports' 2025 rankings, Porsche placed among the top handful of brands for reliability, and here's the stat that should stop you scrolling. Out of 32 brands evaluated, Porsche was one of only 4 where every single model tested earned a recommended rating. Not most of them. Everyone. The Macan, the Cayenne, the 718 Boxster, and the Taycan each landed at average or better for predicted reliability, which for a low-volume performance brand is a genuinely impressive clean sheet, since that recommended badge blends reliability with road test scores, owner satisfaction, and safety all at once. And it is not just Consumer Reports saying it. In J.D. Power's 2025 dependability study, Porsche came out as the single most reliable European brand, ahead of every one of its German and Italian rivals, with the 911 singled out for its performance in the technical evaluations, and Porsche has hovered near the top of those dependability studies for years. US News even named it the best luxury brand for the year. To put that in perspective, an all-model sweep of recommended ratings is something only a tiny fraction of brands pull off in any given year, and the rest of that short list is mostly mainstream Japanese names, not six-figure German sports car makers. So when you see a video insisting that new Porsches are unreliable disasters, understand that you're looking at clickbait, not data. By the objective, survey-backed measures that actually track this stuff, a new Porsche is one of the safer bets in the entire luxury market, and that is the part almost nobody wants to admit up front. But before you rush to the dealer feeling reassured, the picture gets a lot more complicated the closer you look, and it starts with the one model everyone loves to point to. Number 6. The Macan is the crown jewel, with an asterisk. If there's a poster child for Porsche reliability, it's the Macan. Consumer Reports ranks the compact Macan as the most reliable Porsche SUV, and it doesn't just win inside the family. It finished 5th out of 22 vehicles in the luxury compact SUV class and stood out as the most reliable German entry in the entire segment, beating the comparable Audi and BMW crossovers, and in some recent model years it sat right at the top of its class with a nearly perfect rating. That is exactly the kind of track record that keeps buyers coming back. But here's the asterisk you need to catch, because it is very easy to miss. That reliability crown belongs specifically to the gas-powered Macan. The brand new all-electric Macan is a completely different animal on a different platform, and it simply hasn't been in owners' hands long enough to earn the same proven track record yet. And even the gas Macan, as good as it looks against its direct rivals, is really only about average when you stack it against every new car on the road, not just the luxury ones. It's a similar story one size up. The Cayenne lands around 7th in its own competitive class and is projected to be roughly average, which actually puts it behind rivals like the Audi Q8 and the BMW X5 for predicted reliability, and the current Cayenne has even been caught up in a fuel system leak recall. The 718 Boxster and Cayman and the 911 round things out with respectable average or better predicted reliability of their own. So the strength genuinely runs across the whole range rather than resting on one lucky model. So the headline is fair. The Macan and Cayenne are solid, dependable choices, but read it precisely. It's the gas Macan that earned the trophy. Average for the whole market is the real ceiling, and the bigger SUV trails its German competition. Which brings us to a quieter problem sitting underneath all these glowing numbers. Number 5. The reassuring data is thinner than it looks. This is the part almost nobody mentions, and it genuinely matters. Porsche is a low-volume brand, which means Consumer Reports often struggles to collect enough owner responses to judge every model with real statistical confidence. For years, Porsche didn't even gather enough survey data to qualify for CR's list of most reliable brands at all, sitting in the same data-starved group as Jaguar, Land Rover, Maserati, Alfa Romeo, Lucid, and Mini. In fact, Consumer Reports only really got serious about fully testing Porsches for the 2025 model year, and even then, only a small handful of models actually went through the complete testing regimen. So when you hear that Porsche swept its ratings, Keep that sample size firmly in the back of your mind. A clean sheet across 4 tested models is genuinely good news, but it is not the same towering mountain of long-term, high-mileage data that backs up a Toyota or a Honda selling hundreds of thousands of units every single year. This does not mean the ratings are wrong or dishonest. It means they are built on a narrower foundation, and narrow foundations can shift as more cars age and more owners report in over time. So treat the strong scores as a very promising signal rather than an ironclad lifetime guarantee, especially on the newest, most complex, most technology-crammed models in the lineup. And remember how a survey actually works. It can only flag a problem once enough owners have hit it and reported it, and with a brand this small selling cars this new, some issues simply may not have surfaced in the data yet. And speaking of complexity, that is exactly where the reassuring story starts to crack. Because a great reliability score does not mean your car is safe from being called straight back to the dealer. If you found this interesting, feel free to check out my ebook in the description or scan the QR code on the right, and don't forget to subscribe. Number 4. Reliable does not mean recall-free. Here's the trap in leaning too hard on any reliability ranking. It measures how often owners report problems in a survey, but it does not tell you whether the manufacturer has had to recall your specific car for a safety defect. And on that front, Porsche has had a remarkably busy stretch. The big one landed at the start of 2026, when Porsche recalled 173,538 vehicles in the United States because the rearview camera can fail to display when you shift into reverse. That is not a trivial glitch. It puts the car out of compliance with the federal rear visibility safety standard, and it swept in the Cayenne, the 911, the Taycan, and the Panamera across multiple model years. The remedy is a free software update, but the scale is enormous. One of the largest single recalls in Porsche's recent history. Worse, the failure is the intermittent kind. The screen either goes black or flashes a message that the camera is temporarily unavailable, and it tends to work almost every single time, right up until the one moment something small is behind your bumper. That federal standard exists precisely because backing over a child or a pedestrian is one of the most preventable tragedies on the road. So an intermittent blackout is arguably more dangerous than a camera that never works at all, because it quietly teaches you to trust it. And it did not stop at Porsche. Barely a week later, parent company Volkswagen recalled over 500,000 more vehicles for the very same camera fault, and it fits a wider industry pattern, with Toyota recently recalling nearly 394,000 vehicles and Ford around 1.9 million globally over similar camera failures. On top of the camera issue, the V8-powered Panamera and Cayenne have a separate recall covering a high-pressure fuel pump whose fasteners may not have been tightened properly at the factory, which can allow fuel to leak, and fuel leaking anywhere near a hot engine is a fire risk. Those fuel pump notification letters went out to owners in late 2025, and the campaign specifically targets the V8 cars. So a car can score perfectly well for day-to-day dependability and still be the subject of 2 serious safety recalls at the exact same time. Those are completely different questions, and far too many buyers only ever ask the first one. And this gap between reliable and safe gets wider still the moment you plug the car in. Number 3. The electric asterisk is very real. If there is one clear soft spot in the entire picture, it is electrification, and to be fair, it isn't only a Porsche problem. In Consumer Reports' most recent survey, owners reported roughly 80% more problems with plug-in hybrids and electric vehicles than with regular gas cars, and EVs and plug-in hybrids made up 7 of the 10 least reliable vehicles overall. Interestingly, plain hybrids were the sweet spot, with about 15% fewer problems than gas cars, but the full EVs and plug-ins are clearly where the growing pains are landing right now. That is the backdrop against which you have to read Porsche's electric credentials. The Taycan, Porsche's electric flagship, earned only an average predicted reliability rating, solidly mid-pack rather than a standout, and it carries something a lot heavier than a middling score. Certain Taycans, more than 27,000 of them, are under a recall because the high-voltage battery can short-circuit inside a module and create a fire risk, serious enough that owners were told to cap their charging at 80% of capacity and to be careful about where they park the car while they wait for the fix. Sit with that for a second. You buy a cutting-edge electric Porsche, and the interim guidance is to deliberately limit its range and keep it away from your own house. That battery recall has also been expanded more than once and eventually rolled up several earlier campaigns, which is precisely the pattern you never want to see attached to your car. That same camera recall from a moment ago swept the Taycan up as well, so the electric flagship happens to carry both issues at once. To be fair, the wider survey shows this is a solvable problem. Some EVs, like the Tesla Model Y, actually topped the reliability charts this year while others sat near the bottom, so electric does not automatically mean unreliable. It just means Porsche's electric flagship is still playing catch-up while its gas cars cruise along near the front of the pack. It's also worth knowing that the most common EV headaches across the whole industry tend to be electronics and charging system gremlins rather than the battery cells themselves, which is exactly the sort of thing a young, software-heavy platform takes a few years to fully iron out. None of this makes the Taycan a bad machine. It is genuinely brilliant to drive. But if reliability and outright peace of mind sit at the top of your list, the electric side of the Porsche lineup is where the real risk quietly concentrates today. And yet, believe it or not, none of these are the catch that actually hits owners the hardest. Number 2. The catch nobody prints on the window sticker. Here is the real sting, the single thing that turns a reliable car into a painful one to own. Consumer Reports did not only rate Porsche's reliability, it also measured what owners actually pay to keep these cars running, and on that scale, Porsche ranked second to last among all brands. Read that again slowly. Near the very bottom of the entire industry for maintenance and repair costs. This is the whole game, right here. A Porsche is statistically unlikely to break on you, but on the rare occasions it does, or honestly, even when it just needs routine scheduled service, the bill lands like a physical punch. It is a huge part of the reason Consumer Reports openly suggests steering away from European brands altogether if your actual goal is affordable luxury. The reliability and the running costs pull hard in opposite directions, and the running costs are where the pain quietly lives. The scheduled service intervals cost a premium. The parts cost a premium. The specialist labor costs a premium. Big-ticket systems like air suspension, the dual-clutch transmission, the oversized brakes, and the model-specific tires are all expensive to service and eye-watering to replace. A set of the correct approved performance tires can run well into 4 figures. A major brake job on the larger or carbon ceramic setups can cost more than some people's monthly rent, and a single out-of-warranty repair to the transmission or the air suspension can quietly rival the price of a decent used car all on its own. And once you're out of warranty, a single significant repair on one of these cars can cost more than an entire year of payments on an ordinary vehicle. That is the number that ambushes people. They carefully budgeted for the badge and the monthly payment, and nobody ever warned them about the invoice quietly waiting for them at year 4, right after the factory warranty taps out. Part of why the bills run so high is structural. The parts are imported, the fluids and components are model-specific, and the work often has to go to a specialist rather than the shop down the street, so nearly every line item carries a premium. So the dependable Porsche story is completely true, but it comes wrapped in an invisible asterisk that never once makes it into the reliability headline. Reliable, yes. Cheap to live with? Absolutely not. Which leaves the only question that actually matters for you. Number 1. So should you actually buy one? Let's put the whole thing together, because the honest answer is far more useful than any headline. A new Porsche is genuinely provably reliable. The Consumer Reports ratings are real, the JD Power Dependability crown is real, and anyone telling you these cars are falling apart is selling you a story the data simply does not support. If you want a performance car that you can drive hard and still trust to fire up every single morning, Porsche has quietly earned that reputation the honest way. But, and this is the entire point of the video, reliable is not the same thing as affordable, and it is not the same thing as recall-free. You are buying a car that ranks near the rock bottom for cost of upkeep, that has been swept up in some of the biggest recalls in the brand's recent history, and whose electric models sit in the least reliable corner of the whole market. So who should actually buy one? The owner who walks in with their eyes wide open. Budget generously for maintenance, not just the sticker price, because on these cars the running costs are the real cost. Keep every recall completed and every service documented, because a clean, complete paper trail protects both your safety on the road and your money at resale. And if you're shopping used, insist on full records and a proper pre-purchase inspection from an actual Porsche specialist. Or lean on a certified pre-owned car with its extended warranty, because the difference between a reliable Porsche and a bottomless financial pit is almost entirely down to how the last owner treated it. Porsche's own certified pre-owned program is worth a serious look here, since it adds a lengthy multi-point inspection and stretches warranty coverage well past the original term, which is genuine protection on a car this costly to fix. And be honest with yourself about which kind of owner you are. If a surprise $5,000 repair bill would genuinely hurt, this is not the car to stretch your budget for. If it wouldn't, you'll very likely love it for years. The people who end up resenting these cars are almost always the ones who bought the badge on a stretch and got blindsided by the upkeep. The people who love them treated the maintenance as the simple price of admission and planned for it from day one. Same exact car, completely different ownership experience, and the only real variable is how prepared you were walking in. Do all of that, and a Porsche will reward you exactly the way the reputation promises. Skip it, treat it like an ordinary appliance, and that same beautiful badge will quietly drain your bank account one premium invoice at a time. The reliability was never really the question. The real question, the one the clickbait never asks, was always whether you're ready for what reliability at this level actually costs.